in 2020, I'm like, everything I ever worked so hard for had just got snatched away from me.
Yeah.
So I went a year with no job. Finally got a job, and when I got a job, I started saying like, oh, okay, God, I see you. Like, it was a little setback. Like, I want to start really trying to figure this thing out.
Right.
And in my probation, I got let go.
I need a comma to talk. Stack it up and then I put it all in the vault. I'm limping around this bit like Red Fox, but I'm not, cause a young nigga gotta keep the gun when I walk. Look.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode. So our podcast is called Comma Conversations. It got two meanings, right? The first comma is because, as you know, as an entrepreneur, as a young person, somebody with a family, somebody with loved ones, someone with aspirations, it's always like a comma in your life. You don't just do one thing. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, especially as Black people, we get put in a box. So it's like you're just this versus a comma. Like, no, I'm this, comma, this, comma, this. It's also comma conversations because everybody that we bring on is trying to give our audience a way to get to the bag. We trying to get some money. So we embracing the commas, but also we trying to get to these commas. Now the guest that we have today is an amazing business owner, up and coming in the city. The Chief Get It Done Officer, Ajee Cook. I'm gonna give you a bio and then you can introduce yourself.
All right.
The bio.
Okay.
So, a lot of business owners, when you starting off, is just you, right? Mm-hmm. It's just you, the social media manager, you're the marketing manager, you're the communications manager, you're the CFO, the one doing everything.
Yeah.
But as you start to get some motion and people start to get interested, you got inventory that's got to get updated. You got campaigns that got to go out. You got customers that need to be responded to. And if you're not careful, you'll spend so much time in the day-to-day work that you lose like the creativity and love of your business. So that's where the Chief Get It Done Officer comes in, because she's going to take all that off your plate to where she's going to help set you up with processes to where, and even before we started recording, she was like, yeah, nah, you got to automate. Automation is key because it's going to take man hours away from you just doing the day-to-day work. But y'all, welcome Ajee Cook to the podcast. Thank you for sitting down with me today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. From the moment that I came to that first event, I was like, wow, this is really dope. You had a great crowd that was there. So I was just excited to be in the room. So yeah, I think you did a really good job at explaining what my company is. So we are the Chief Get It Done Officer. When we say done, we mean done. We take it from your plate and put it onto ours by enabling businesses to be successful, by offering them administrative and operational support. All back office, from calendar management to email management to database building to data entry to form organization, insight reports, presentations, preparations. We literally do everything back office. I do want to talk a little bit about kind of how this even got started, because you really came in with that, like that energy, and I like that. So before I even became a full-time entrepreneur, I worked as directors, assistant directors. I worked in human resources. I worked as program managers, program supervisors. I never had a dream or aspiration of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Never. You know how young people, they say, oh yeah, when I grew up, I always wanted to climb to the top of corporate. That was my ultimate goal, to be like the COO. So it's funny. So in 2020, after COVID, obviously the world got shook up. And a lot of people was trying to figure out what they was going to do. I was one of those people who got laid off, and I applied to over 537 job applications. That number is real. I tallied that number. I applied to over 537 job applications. I didn't get anything. I went a year with no job. I'm gonna be real transparent with you, because I'm not even just transparent.
It's just common conversations.
So when I tell you, I got evicted, I got my car booted, I got all of these things started happening.
Philly boots are crazy. Philly boots are different.
I'm like, I've never, like, I was
respect.
Honestly, I couldn't believe my own life. I'm like, hold on, wait, because somebody who always hound on being successful. I put myself through college 2 times. I always worked really hard. So in 2020, I'm like, everything I ever worked so hard for had just got snatched away from me.
Yeah.
So I went a year with no job. Finally got a job, and when I got a job, I started saying like, oh, okay, God, I see you. Like, it was a little setback. Like, you know, I want to start really trying to figure this thing out.
Right.
And in my probation, I got let go. I'll never forget this day. I was like, HR came in and was like, oh, Miss Cook, we want to speak with you. And I had to tell the guy, I'm like, you know, I just went a year. Like, I just got evicted. Like, I was like crying, and when they were like telling me that I couldn't work anymore, I'm like, no, because I will clean a floor around here. Like, I need a job. Like, you guys understand? And so he like, you know, we can't afford the position. We're not sure where the company's gonna go. I walked out there super depressed. I'm talking about when you hit rock bottom, it's nowhere else to go besides up.
Yeah.
I birthed this company in that exact moment, and I had no idea that I was going to do that.
Yeah.
I had like a mentor. I walked out. I called my mentor. I'm telling her, I'm like, I just got let go. And she's like, she knew my story. She's like, I know that you just work hard. I knew that you hadn't got a job. I knew this. I knew that. And I said, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do. She's like, well, start out as a freelancer. She's like, you always working. You love admin. I got my MBA. She's like, just start out just helping small businesses as a freelancer, like Fiverr and things like that. People can just can just say, hey, do this, do that, do that. So I started out like that, and then the ball just started. So I started going to like networking events. Everybody had these grand businesses. It's like, oh, what do you do? It's like, look, I can help you do anything. I mean, I was meal prepping. That is not a part of the admin. I was doing whatever it took. But then people started telling people, oh, I know this girl. You know, she just be getting stuff done. Like, she just be helping people out. She just like an extra hand. Like, she just does anything to help business owners out. I didn't have a business. Yeah. I didn't have an LLC. I didn't have an EIN number. I didn't have anything. Right. So I came home.
But you was getting it done.
I was just getting it done. Like, I just like anything that can help me pay a bill. I mean, I was just like $73, $75. I'm undercharging people. I'm just doing whatever it can take to pay for whatever I need to pay for because I had just lost everything. So during that time, after that, I said, all right, well, I've been doing this for some time. I got in contact with a restaurant down in Old City, and they're like, they wanted to contract me. They're like, this was my first huge contract. And I'm like, I don't have anything. So I came home. I started looking up everything. I'm like, all right, I got to get my LLC.
Get that instant EIN.
I need to get everything because I'm not
Delaware LLC.
But mind you, in the back of my mind, I said, like, I'm going to corporate because that's what I wanted to do. I'm like, I'm trying to make 6 figures. I got a few years. I'm going to be 30. I need to figure out what it is that I need to do to get to this money. Yeah. And I need to get to it fast. Right. So God was like, oh, we're going to get you to 6 figures, but you're not going to work for nobody else. You're going to build this yourself. Yeah. And then I built that. And that's exactly how I birthed the company. It started strictly from deciding, like, I'm going to be a freelancer. Right. Knocked that first contract out. Then I knocked the contract out with Kelly Williams, where I was working with a lot of real estate agents there, just doing a bunch of their following back up with people and doing all of their admin. And then people just started telling people. And I started getting random calls like, oh yeah, a corporate event planning company, like, oh yeah, we're looking for somebody that can do this. And I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. Like, this is a thing. Like, this is for real a thing. Like, people need these services. Like, people businesses are not able to take it to the next level because CEOs are trying to do everything. Right. I always tell people like, oh yeah, y'all trying to do everything. You can't do everything. You can't be a CEO of everything. That's why I say everybody, we living in a CEO culture. I was literally on the last interview I did, we talked about the same thing. Mm-hmm. I said, we living in this CEO culture where everybody trying to be a CEO, but what are you the CEO of? Right. If you don't have like a system in place to like, this is how we do this. This is how we do this. What you a CEO of? I guess like you a CEO of yourself. Right. But everybody's a CEO of himself. Right. I always say that people say, where do we fall in people's company? Yeah. CEOs are visionaries. Yeah. We're integrators. Yep. The visionary sees the whole thing. We're the integrators that come in and execute. Yep. So we execute that to-do list that you just keep pushing off. But if you do not get this thing done, your company won't make it to the next level. That's us. We're the integrators. We're the execution. Yep.
it's the in between, because like from a marketing standpoint, marketing is about like inspiring people. I always say that like marketing is storytelling, because before, like when we started with Black American Market, we like the lights weren't even on in our building. Like literally Mariah called me and was like, yo bro, like I want to do this store. Like we about to just dive. Like we about to just do it. Cause it was an app that she had that was a Black American Market, where like it was like Yelp for like Black businesses. She was like, but it's a lot of like product based businesses. She was like, so if we get a store, we can just tell them put it in our store. But I think there was only like maybe 10 people that was interested in it. So it was like, okay, before we even have like furniture, before we even have the lights on, like we didn't even have the electric turned on in the store. It was like, we got to figure out a way to sell this. Right. So like the marketing is about like selling. How do you get people interested, excited about what it is that you got going on? So like the first part of the journey is like, people have to know who you are. Right. They have to care. You have to tell them the story well enough that they're like, yo, I want that. I want to take part in that. But then once that works, and you start getting people flooded in, we got to a point where like,
well, okay, so we want to take more, but
we had 1,000 applications. Yeah, like, well, hold on, we got space for like 75 people in the store. We got like 1,000 applications. Right. We got people trying to get us in. Like, hold on. And then it would be to the point where like, okay, we have a marketing packet that we send out to people, but like people done paid their deposit, got in the store, sent their merchandise, but it was like, people were sending merchandise like with no tag, no label, no price tag. Their business wasn't marked on it. So we would just show up to the store and it'd be like 1,000 pieces of merchandise just here. Like, what the fuck? Like, whose stuff is whose? Like, who's who?
Where does all this go? So, that's how I always tell CEOs, you have to delegate.
You gotta organize.
You have to
organize.
You have to be strategic. You have to put people in place to do the things that need to get done. People always say, oh, well, you know, we don't have the money to hire out somebody else in to come in and do these things. It's like, you have to find that in your budget. That's the only way. Can you imagine you trying to sit down and do all of that and still having to get out and put the business out there and grow the company? You're only one person. Yeah. So you have to delegate. You
can't do it. And I think where a lot of entrepreneurs go wrong is they start to see some money in their business come in and they're like, oh, that's mine. Right. Having a business is like growing a child.
Oh, yeah.
You have to spend time putting into that.
You cannot grow a business talking about you rich from the start.
You want to get money.
Please,
like, no. We had like
that's
this.
Impossible.
This is not a flex, but like we did $200,000 of business for BAM in 6 months. I still go to work every day. I still got a 9 to 5 because I understand I can't do every role in this business. So if we got a budget that says like, all right, after we pay expenses, we got $15,000. Well, $6,000-$7,000 is going to be in staffing right off the rip.
Yeah. It's what's your gross and what's your net.
$5,000 is going to be rent right off the rip. So if I come in and I'm like, oh, I need a $50,000 salary right off the gate, well, kill our fucking business. Right, yeah. We won't have money to market. We won't have money to buy furniture we need. We won't have money to...
When I first launched, I was still doing Uber Eats to pay for the business.
Right.
I had to do everything to still fund the business because this was my whole income. Right. So every money that I would make from all of these clients, I have to pay out employees. I got a team of people. Right. I gotta pay people. I gotta pay the chief get it done officers because they are getting things done for these other people companies. Right. So pricing is a big thing. Learning how do you price people? You know, like somebody comes into my company, it's like, we need admin. The first thing I think of is, all right, well, we gotta do an assessment on your company. We need to figure out where you. We need to figure out what you. And then I'll be able to say, okay, you fall into this package, and this is this much. Because, like you said, it's gross and it's net. Yep. What did you make? How do you disperse it? Where does it go?
What's up, everybody? This is Caleb from the O2 Collection Media. And listen, we all know we're living in a world about attention, right? Everything is about getting traction, getting your likes up, your comments up, your views up, your metrics up. But once you start to get a little traction with your business, how do you convert those views, those comments, those metrics into actual dollars in your bank account? That's what we do at the O2 Collection Media. We not only produce high quality content for our customers, but we show them how they can get those views, those metrics into converting actual sales for their products or for their services. It's all about the back end. It's all about converting people that see your posts into actual dollars and actual customers. So if you want to learn how to do that and work with us, you can go to the o2collection.com. You can fill out our contact form and we can get started.
So this was going to be my question to follow that question up would be like finding that right pricing, especially as a contractor, because we don't know walking into a situation and this is something that Mariah always does. Mariah always goes and researches is like, if it's a organization that we applying for like a contract for, she goes and researches like their budget. And she like, okay, if it's a public company, she gonna see like, okay, this is their budget they got for this. But from like just as a contractor walking in, how do you assess that? Like, what do I charge? Because most people say, what do I want to make off this? Versus saying like, what service am I providing? Because some people undersell themselves right off the gate.
Oh yeah,
that's a problem that I have. Like being realistic, I'll undersell myself.
People ask me all the time, "What's your prices?" You need to go on the website. You have to complete a service inquiry.
Yeah,
I cannot just throw prices out there, especially when it comes down to admin, because people never really know what they need. And I'm sure you had the same thing with marketing. Like somebody may come say, "Hey, can you take pictures? Can you do this? Can you do that?" It's your time. So how you price. You have to sit down and think about the time that it takes to get for you. You have to edit people's stuff. It's not about going out and taking the shot. That's the easy part. It's about the 20 hours I gotta do when I come home and cut all that up. So that's the time that it takes to actually get the work done. What all goes into the work. So for me specifically, we do admin operations. So we have a lot of different subscriptions. We have to do Asanas, Dubsado, Clicker, all these project management, all these CRMs, the QuickBooks, all these communication, scheduling platforms, all these platforms. How much do these subscriptions, how much are these a month? You have to really get down to, okay, what does every single thing cost? And then how? And then you also have to do your projections. So I always tell people like, for our company, an administrative and operational company nationally, just nationally, is an $11 billion industry. If my company can capture just half of 5%, we will be a $55 million company. That's only capturing half of 1%. Half of 1%. So 0.5. Wow. If we only capture that, we will be $55 million company. So knowing these numbers, that will set you up to that's like the big number. Like, wow, we can be a $55 million company. How do we get there? We have to break it down in the packaging. What does it cost? How do you get there? How do you even land those clients, those huge clients that can afford to pay thousands of dollars a month? So looking at what does that even look like? So those projections, those financial, I would say planning and strategy, that's so necessary for business owners to see, who's your target market? Who are you targeting? I remember when I first started, I said, I want to target small businesses. Had this dream for small businesses. Well, a small business is great. But
you got the bread though.
Sometimes, but you got to think about what is a small business. It's not about a small business. How much is a business? How much is a business? You know how many people make the same amount of money as Oprah, but they're not Oprah? So it's more so just figuring out, what does your industry cost? Like, what are your competitors making? What does like how you say Mariah goes and looks up and say, okay, for me, I say if you was to come to me and say you needed an administrative and operational or CEO or not CEO, a COO, what would that charge be for your if you actually hire somebody? That's a six-figure salary that you would have to charge somebody to come in and do what we do. And handle all your day-to-day admin. That's why as a contractor you can come in and basically say, and that'd be one of the selling points when I talk to people about doing their marketing, because it's like, if you were to if you look first, I would say when you do something, know what your worth is. So if you have a track record of I did this for this person, I did this for this person, a nice portfolio. Once you get that, even if you gotta
get your foot in the door and like do stuff for people just off the love, or do like a deal with somebody. Hey, I'm gonna help you with this, you help me with that. Get a nice portfolio of people that you work with. Once you have that portfolio, you gotta step into the room like,
you got to know
like I'm a big dog.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. I remember, first of all, I used to barter I don't know anymore, but I used to always barter services. Like, you can do this, I can do that. Let me tell you, my hairdresser, I used to be like, I got so many events, I gotta speak at this. If you do my hair, we'll handle your admin. And that was a great way to barter services. But I think what you said was awesome. Like, you have to have that portfolio. Let your work speak for itself. I never go around and start trying to explain how well I do it. Listen, I got client testimonials. I got reviews that just speak for themselves. But I think the most important thing when it comes down to that is just, knowing the person who's looking for your services, they know what they need. I offer a service. You offer a service.
How do you feel that pain point for them?
And it's just making that connection. I mean, it's usually I always say, sometimes you gotta feel people's emotions. When it comes down to admin, I straight say, what did you get done yesterday? What did you not get done yesterday that you were supposed to get done? They start thinking, they be like,
that's good marketing. That's good marketing.
They be like, I'm like, you still ain't taking trash out. Trash man came 2 weeks in a row. What happened? You need somebody to come in and help you get those things done. Tasks. And then once they see, you've only been here for 2 weeks and you done got 10 things off my to-do list completed. Check. Now you see your business growing. Now you see, like, if I can just get these things done, I could really take it to the next level. You just don't have enough time.